Hello and welcome to another episode of TesterSpeak special feature. And my name is Brijesh Deb. I'm your host. Today with me, I have somebody who has been no less than a star. Star in his own right, star in his own rights as a tester, star in his own rights as a YouTuber. Somebody who has given an absolutely new dimension to learning when it comes to testing. I have been a huge fan of him for a long time, and it gives me great pleasure in welcoming Naveen Khunteta, also known as Naveen Automation Labs. Welcome, Naveen.
Hey Brijesh, thank you so much. Thanks a lot for inviting me. How are you?
I am doing very well. How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so at the outset, let me just make a public disclosure here. It is
Okay.
more like a public confession. I have been a huge fan of yours, and for me, this is a fanboy moment. Okay, to be very honest, to be speaking to you, because when we think of trying to learn Selenium, okay, trying to explore something, then we look for resources, and when we Google, we get a lot of articles, we get a lot of blogs, we get a lot of written material, and then to go through those and spend your time trying to understand, it takes a lot of time. So one of the
Correct.
easiest ways today is to go to YouTube and search. And if you go to YouTube, you are all over there. Okay, so, so you are there, your channel is there, and that has been a great source of learning for me. I started, learning from your channel. I can do a few things now, of course, and there have been a lot of instances where for some quick reference, I've had to just jump back to your video, look at how what your suggestion is, then come back and do it, and that has helped me a lot. So this is indeed a fanboy moment for me. So I am so glad I'm getting a chance to talk to you, which is fantastic.
No,
Um,
it's a pleasure for me that a legend. I would say I really mean a lot because the kind of experience, the kind of the knowledge and the kind of things that you share on social media and for the awareness of the testing. I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of you, Brijesh. That is, I'm frankly speaking that. In fact, in my company also, we have done a lot of times we have done these kind of discussions where I was actually somewhere wrong, and then I followed your strategy or your concepts of learning of testing, and then help me a lot. So actually it's a fan moment for me, not for you exactly. So it's a huge experience. I love your knowledge and the way you speak, the way you deliver the things to the audience, to the public. Amazingly good.
well, I'm deeply humbled by your comments. Thank you so much. I hope that we both can make a difference to the testing community and add more value. Uh, okay, let me begin by asking about your journey as a tester. How did you get started as a tester?
So actually, I did my engineering, and in BTech, it was I'm not from computer science background. I'm from electrical engineering background, and I was like really good in my physics and computer science at that time because in somewhere you will get to know C++ and Java in second year and third year. So that time I was like, okay, kind of interested in Java languages and assembly language that time, 8085 and 8080 and all those things. So that was that time I thought, okay, let's get into software engineering. I was totally for electrical engineering. I'll join NTPC or BHEL or maybe some core company, or I'll do some MTech. So I was planning for GATE, and but yeah, so that was the third year, and then I got placed in a couple of software companies, and I got trained in Java actually for software development. But I eventually I moved to testing automation, and then I was like, okay, fine, it's cool, it's nice to do that. And I was having no idea about what is testing and software testing that time. Having a bad name, that is that okay, no, testing is a low profile, people who are actually on bench, you will get testing for those people. Frankly speaking, I was used to get that. And in fact, in my family, my cousin, my other brothers in my family, they were like, why are you joining testing, and then it's very low profile kind of thing. And I was like, no, I'm liking it, and it's quite interesting, and there are a lot of things are happening, and I'm pretty much sure it'll be a good thing. Luckily, I got really good seniors in my first company. I joined HCL in Noida in Delhi, and luckily I was like having blessed with really good genius. They were like just like you know. I can see, you know, people were like talking about testing concepts, methodologies, and the best practices for the testing. That time I got to know it's something interesting, and I think we should go for it. And then I learned, you know, through my programming skills and all those things, I learned QTP and then Selenium, and then that stuff is started like that.
Well, awesome, awesome. I think that is something great, and you've mentioned about a couple of things. So first thing is, to transition your mind from an electrical engineering setting and somebody is preparing for GATE to get into software testing. That's one thing. The other thing is beating the misconceptions. That too, when they are prevalent within not within just the industry, but within the society at large, and when your family is telling you that okay, that's something low profile. To
Look,
that, it takes a lot of courage. So, what is your thought? I mean, is it really low profile?
not at all. Like I was like, I'll tell you one couple of incidents happened with me in HCL. Then I joined a couple of product-based companies, and I found a couple of really good people. I would like to mention one guy, my senior. His name was Krishan Upreti. So he is now America, and he was my senior that time. And he told me, Navi, this is not at all low profile. And then I saw him and the kind of conversation he used to have with the development team, and he was like genius. He knows each and everything about the about the system, about the infrastructure, about the servers, about the use cases, business, and everything. I got to know, okay, now he's a senior. I mean, he's a tester and he's a testing guy, and then he's having so much knowledge about it. So why can't I? So I just followed these people, couple of people, and then I got to know, oh, this is something really cool, and then it's not at all low profile. In fact, from last 4 5 years, I'm like, this is one of the best time I can say in my career. That from last 4 years or 5 years, maybe I would say that getting whatever the company I wanted to join, I got I got to join Cisco. Then I got to join Walmart. Then I'm currently working with German six. You know it, right? You are already in Netherlands, so it's like such cool companies. And then I'm having I tried Google also. I tried WhatsApp also. I tried other really cool companies, and everywhere like people they appreciated my knowledge and the kind of stuff that I was doing and all those things. Although in some companies I could not make it possible, I could not crack it, but yeah. So fantastic journey, and I don't see not at all. In fact, in 2020, 21, I see that it's a great future and great profile, I would say.
And especially those listening to this interview should realize that there will be people who might tell you that testing is low profile, probably because they have not interacted so much with testers, or they have not tested by themselves. So probably that's why they have that thought in their mind. But you, if you have tested, if you've really interacted with testers, would realize what value it is, and the kind of examples that you gave, that you had an opportunity to work with so many companies, and at least you got a chance to try at Google and WhatsApp and other big names, is a testimony to the fact that okay, it is, you've discovered something really good about testing, and that that has helped you become more passionate towards it, right?
Correct.
So that brings me to my next question. I mean, when we are talking about this being one of the misconceptions, what are the other sort of misconceptions you had to deal with?
See, other conception, especially in India, what happens that okay, if you're having a testing profile, will I get the same package, same compensation? That's a big deal for especially for all the people who are having 2 to 3 years of experience. And I always tell them, okay, it's not about the you are into testing domain or development domain. You have to prove yourself. You have to show your technical skills. You have to show the value that okay, why you are valuable in the company. And on the basis of that, that's a problem I find in India, because when I see that okay, most of the people they having unnecessary misconcept that no, the testers will get the a low package or low compensation as compared to dev and all those things. In fact, I have seen people having the automation profile and really good analytical skills in testing, they're getting better compensation as compared to developments, as compared to dev guys. So that is, I really found it stupid. In fact, I really argue sometimes most of the people in my Telegram group also, Facebook also, personally also, that okay, hey, I'm not getting the enough package. I really, after 10 years, I want to go to development now because I don't see any future. Another misconception I see that after 10 years or after 12 years, what will I do in testing? What is my next role? What is the profile for after testing manager or test lead? What is the next role? What I want to do? That is another thing I always hear that, okay, these days, whenever I come live and people asking about after 15 years, after 11 years, there are so many things you can do. You can become engineering manager, you can become a VP, you can become a director, you can become a CTO also. You won't believe in couple of companies, I have seen people having the testing background, they became the CTO, the chief technical officer in a particular startup. And why not? And he's having the same knowledge just like another dev CTO. So these couple of things I always hear. Somewhere maybe it's true, but personally I don't believe that. If you have the knowledge, if you have the caliber, you can do that. Definitely you can crack those unnecessary things.
Well, I think you've made a very good point that, from a career progression perspective, it is very important. In fact, very recently in the Test Leadership Congress, I also spoke about the career path of
Hmm.
a test. Okay,
Yeah.
and that was the topic for that I spoke about. And I clearly told them. In fact, a couple of days ago, I wrote on LinkedIn as well about it,
Hmm.
and I could see a lot of people resonating with that fact. Now, one of the common things that I have obviously seen is, and this is probably a big one, and I want to know your thoughts about it, is with the advent of agile, testing is sort of has taken a backseat. Testing career has nosedived. So you don't have test leads, you don't have test managers in agile teams.
Correct.
So what about my career there? Is a question that I get quite often. I want to know
Hmm.
your thoughts on that.
See, I really don't believe that. Somewhere I agree that that hierarchy is gone. We used to have this hierarchy, in all these service-based companies, especially that we have test lead, we have engineer, senior QA engineer, then test lead, then manager, senior test manager, kind of thing. I'm liking it. Actually, this hierarchy is gone at least. It doesn't. I don't know it just because of agile or whatever. I really don't know, but. In agile everybody is same. I don't think so that okay, if you are experienced testing guy, you can become engineering manager also, and you can become an architect also, or a senior automation architect. Or if you are interested in automation, if you are interested in functional testing, you can go with a lot of good things. You can become a PO BA also, you can become, and then accordingly you can choose your career like that. I have seen a lot of people, they are moving their career from testing domain to testing to PO. They want to become a product owner because they have very specific knowledge on a specific use cases to test it, and they understand the business, the use cases, and everything. So that also you can do that. So I really don't think so that hierarchy matters and designation matters over here. What I see that okay, these days what happens that okay, yeah, you are SDET 1, 2, 3, and then staff engineer, then you have principal engineer, then senior principal engineer, then or maybe you can become SDET manager or engineering manager. You can handle entire dev team, entire agile scrum team, you can handle it end to end. And then you can become a VP also, or maybe after that director, and at that particular high position in management also you can get it. So I really don't think so that it really matters, senior manager or test manager or test lead or something like this. I really don't think so it really matters now.
I am glad you mentioned that because I am not a huge fan of these designations, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't define me. What defines me are my skills, my knowledge, my ability as a tester, and I can bring in a lot more value at doing what I can do rather than choosing a designation. That's what I also believe in, and you're absolutely right because I also went ahead and said that, and this is something again I want to know your thoughts on because I believe that the problem, especially in a society like India, in a country like
Hmm.
India, is people are chasing more of power and authority. Okay, because they think, okay, tomorrow if I have to become a manager, okay, I don't see a path to become a manager in future. That is the problem. And why do they want to become a manager? Because they want to be able to have, they want to have a position, they want to have power, they want to have authority, they want to take decisions, and that's why they feel like that. Even just to contradict you a little bit, I think the transition from a tester to a product owner is not because that they have the knowledge to do so, but is because the PO is taking decisions. That is the main reason why testers want to become a product owner, not because they have the knowledge. If they have the knowledge, they can think about product ownership, they can think about product management, they can think about things like, customer success manager. There are so many profiles like that. But it's not about the knowledge. It's more about the sense of power and pride and authority is what I feel. So in
Could
my
be.
talk, what I mentioned was, instead of chasing power and authority, chase happiness, chase
Yeah.
trust. Okay, build trust with your team members, and that is going to make a whole lot of difference. Now, having said that, this is my own personal perspective. I want to know from you, what do you think? Is my analysis correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Like somewhere I agree that people are chasing the power, especially society in India, and where people are having that, okay, hey, I'm cross 10 years or 15 years. Now I'm still a senior QA guy. And then, and my wife is saying that, okay, hey, you are still you are still not a manager. So when will you become a manager? When your kids are asking that, okay, hey, my dad is still senior QA. So what about manager thing? What about director thing? So I think I see this pattern here in India, but I work with a lot of people in Europe and UK and in America. So where people, you see that, okay, 25 years experience guy still, they say that, okay, hey, I'm a QA guy, I'm a senior QA guy. And I was surprised that, okay, yeah, that this guy 15 years and 20 years, 25 years experience guy, and he is calling himself as a senior QA guy, just a QA guy. I'm just a QA, I'm just a tester. And they
Yeah.
don't believe in all these hierarchy system or all these things. They just I believe that, okay, yeah, you should follow your passion. Whatever you're doing, it should satisfy it should justify your happiness. You're finding something and you are valuable for something, and on for the base, and yeah, why not? And money matters a lot, not an issue. But I would like to add one more point over here. Some people, they say that, okay, hey, I want to manage people, I want that, okay, hey, I want to supervise people. 10 people are there reporting to me. I have that kind of knowledge, or maybe the experience, or I have that leadership skills where I
Yeah.
can manage people. I can do some people management and the test management also. So that also, I mean, nothing wrong in that. If people, they want to choose that particular path also, why not? So yeah, I totally agree with you. Somewhere people are following the power, but I think what I have seen in the market, most of the people, they want to use their knowledge, they want to follow the passion, and the same thing I'm also following for myself. Okay, I don't want to
Oh,
believe
yeah.
in any designation kind of thing. I just want to follow my things, my knowledge, and every day there is a learning actually for me.
Yeah. No, that is quite evident from the work that you do for the community. The kind of we've seen a lot of videos where you've tried to explain why things are to be done in what way. Now that brings me to another interesting point, and this is purely about, we spoke a lot about automation and things like that. Automation, yes, a lot of people are trying to follow their passion. It gives you, it it sort of puts you on par with developers, and you get sometimes get more salary, like you mentioned. So before you get into automation, how important do you think is hardening or strengthening your basics as a tester? Because
Yeah, that's very important. And initially, when I started my channel, I'll tell you frankly, people were asking that, again, Naveen, why don't you, why do you support only automation? That was the thing I used to, get in terms of comments on LinkedIn also, and personal messages also, that, okay, hey, why are you only, and why are you criticizing this functional testing? And why are you always supporting and promoting automation? And it was not at all fact. Frankly speaking, it was not at all the thing. I was like, that's why, like in that particular post also on LinkedIn, that I clearly told that, guys, that automation is the cool stuff. You can do that. You can decorate your profile with automation. You can get some handsome package. and good product companies and everything is fine, but your roots are, your basics are testing. You should not forget about your roots. Your roots are testing. That's a problem with the kind of people we are getting from last couple of years, and the new generation, the college pass out people. Everybody wants to learn something, machine learning and Java and Python with automation, Selenium, or some really RPA or some different tools. But the moment you ask any basic testing concept, what do you mean by this and what is the need of this, and then they are blank, and then they are not interested. So that is the problem I have a big problem. In fact, whenever I take interviews also, although my designation as an automation engineer or automation specialist, but I don't consider that, okay, I'm just looking for only for automation. That's why I'm having the problem with Amazon and all such okay, there's big brands. The first round is always algorithms, and a really good tester who is going for the interview, and they are just first round a very complex problem on graph they are giving you, and within 30 minutes or 45 minutes you have to solve these two questions on hacker rank, and then you are judging a person their testing ability. That is a totally wrong thing. I don't consider these kind of interviews, frankly speaking. So for me as an automation guy also, I am not an automation guy, I'm an automation QA guy. So QA is there in my profile. So testing is important for me actually all the time.
Yeah, I think you mentioned some very, very good points, and I can relate to it personally because I think about a week or so ago, I wrote a post on LinkedIn. I got bashed up for that post very much because I wrote, "What is the point of calling a tester, asking only questions related to automation, and
Yeah.
then making a judgment and saying, oh, you can't do this, you are not a good tester. You're calling for a testing interview, asking only coding related questions, nothing to do with testing. And then you're making a judgment saying, oh, you're not a good tester. I mean, how does that work? And you mentioned that exactly that, the Amazon example that you gave is solve these two problems on HackerRank, and then we decide whether you are a good or a bad tester. I mean, it's a total sham in my opinion. So yeah, that's my experience, and I'll tell you, a lot of people said, "What's wrong?" They argued with me till eternity. There were a couple of people who were just going on and on and on. It's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "It is wrong. You are asking people to test or take a testing interview. I mean, ask them to test something. I would start with that. If you want something practical, ask them to test something." So you're absolutely right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that see, what is the consequences having having all these things. Let's see if Amazon, Apple, Walmart, all these companies, they are taking first round as a coding round at hacker rank, or maybe they will give you one complex problem or something, and then you think about that guy who is really good and who can justify his testing experience, his or her testing experience, and who can test the application, and who can find some really good things and quality risk in your application. And it's all about the business, right? What will you do with that particular coding, and how exactly you can improve your app or web application or whatever the product that you have, if that person is solving really good graph questions, and the person is having some really testing mindset and having some really negative scenarios, he can test it. User testing, he can do that, and all the different use cases he can test it. Why would you hire a person who's having really good coding skills but having the zero mindset or zero IQ in testing? So that is the problem. These are the consequences. And you think about that person, what exactly you're spreading in the community, in the society for the testing, that, okay, hey, if you really want to achieve Amazon or Walmart, you have to crack this level. Forget about testing. Testing is that we will see that. Testing, we will see that. When you join, we will see that. So that
Yeah,
is the totally wrong thing. I really, in fact, I really argued a couple of times when I was in Walmart. So, but the good thing, when I joined Sixth in my current company, we always do the debrief. Fine, we are taking programming questions also. We are talking about the coding also. We are talking about testing. 2 rounds we are taking on testing only, all the testing scenarios and everything, and we are giving a live app, and we are checking that, okay, hey, show me your different use cases, how exactly you're going to test this particular feature or this particular application. And then after 4 or 5 rounds, we do a debrief, and then we check that, okay, yeah, it's okay, this guy is not that great in programming, but he's having really good mindset for QA. And trust me, Brijesh, that there are more than 25 people that we hired, and they all are genius, okay, in terms of testing. Learning coding and learn automation, and that's not a big deal actually. Anytime you can learn, it's not a big deal.
Yes, absolutely right. I mean, I firmly believe that as well. I can teach programming to a good tester.
Yeah.
Okay. However, if I know only coding skills to build that testing mindset, I mean, I will take a lot of time. I can still teach that. Okay, I'm not denying that. I can still teach testing, but testing requires a certain mindset. It requires a certain acumen. Okay, it requires the ability to foresee risks. It requires the ability to analyze those risks. Okay, it requires critical thinking, system thinking. How do you bring in all these qualities? Is one big question that I have. Now, you spoke about Amazon and Walmart, and I want to bring in one particular perspective, and I want to know what do you think of this. Okay, so we all know that a company called Facebook openly says that we do not hire testers.
Yep.
Okay, they say that. Okay, and they say, okay, we have a fully functional DevOps pipeline, and we get everything continuously tested. We do, I think their frequency is, I think, 6 builds per hour or something like that. So, do you think a trend like this is harmful for testing? First of all, is that right? Or and secondly, is it harmful for testing?
See, it is harmful for testing somewhere. I guess I agree on this. And first of all, it's not a good practice. And you have to, first of all, yeah, maybe Facebook is a different case, is an exceptional case where because in Facebook also, it's not true that, okay, every not a single tester is there. That's a myth actually. I have a couple of friends who are actually working with Facebook in California, in Palo Alto, and they are working as a contractor tester. Okay, so they have some contractor and they have a lot of internal application. Let's see, for their AdWords, they are for Facebook profiling, and then accounts and internal application also they are using, and they have some contractors. So it's not like that, okay, they have very solid build pipeline and they are checking each and everything. But the good thing about the Facebook is that they are amazing in their technology stack, and they have the best developers in the world. The kind of code they are writing, the developers also testing their code through unit test cases or SITs, or in the form of their own testing. They're doing it, okay, from the dev side itself. They're checking each and everything, and their business team is also very, very strong in terms of before releasing the product to the customer and into the market. So if you are reaching at that level, but it's not like, okay, every company is like a Facebook. Okay, that's another, okay, perspective that we have to think about it. Second thing is that it's not at all good for testers and not good for testing. You are actually, LinkedIn also started this thing a couple of years back. I don't know you heard about it or not. And they stopped hiring QA folks. And what exactly they told all the existing QA folks? You learn programming, you learn React and all those things. It's good to know, no doubt about it. It's fine, but you have to shift to the development, otherwise you leave the company. That has happened 3 years back, and it was a flop module. Okay, it was a flop model. It was not at all successful. Again, they started hiring SDETs. They are hiring now, and even in fact, I have got a couple of calls from LinkedIn now. Just like Groupon also started, and it was a big flop, and they could not survive because a dev mindset is totally different. They're not getting enough time to to perform the testing end to end. Because let's see, if I hire you, if I hire Brijesh, having 15 years or 20 years the testing mindset experience, and if I give the same work to a 4 years experienced guy, they cannot test end to end. The kind of thing, the kind of mindset, the kind of testing IQ that you and me have, is totally different. And these days, testing is important for business point of view. The moment you lose, losing the bugs and you're losing the customers, it's all competitive world in that case.
You're absolutely right. Now, talking a little more about Facebook. Now, while they say that we don't hire testers, they still are getting a lot of testing done, and the way they get it done is through something called as Canary releases,
Yeah.
which I'm not sure if a lot of our young testers actually know about. So it's important that they know about it, and good that we are talking about this. So I will just tell a little bit about this. So what Facebook do is when they have a feature or they are fixing some bug, what they do is they fix it or they build a feature and then they push it to their employees.
Yeah.
First, to their employees, because it is a content related app or a product. So they give it to their employees, and their employees then give the feedback to the developer saying, okay, this is working fine, or you might want to make some changes or whatever. And once they do that, then they push it to 2% of their production.
Yeah.
Okay. And there again they collect feedback. So that's again some testing is getting done, and only then they push it to 100% production. So they do it in stages, and this is something called as Canary releases. So it is a myth that they do not do any testing at all. They might not be hiring designated testers, but they do get a lot of testing done. Now the drawback to this, or saying that we have a fully functional automated pipeline and things like that, is yes, they have reduced the time to market. Excellent. However, the quality, we know that Facebook has bugs, right? You and I as users no. Okay, and I have been trying to tell Facebook for a long time, guys, it's high time that you fix your notifications because they are all messed up. Okay. But they don't want to listen to a single user like me. They say, okay, no problem you're facing, but it's all microservices. It doesn't matter if some feature doesn't work for a single user. The rest of the app is good, and people are getting the content that they want to see. People will ignore these small bugs, blah blah. Okay, whatever mindset that is. But if we take this same example in case of a safety critical system, for example, a healthcare system or space agency.
Finance also.
Finance, fintech, or space agency where they are doing this. This will not work. You will need testers. Okay, yes, you might still think of techniques like Canary releases and stuff like that, but you need that testing mindset. And to say that okay, we can do without testers is something that I don't buy. Okay, to me it's a big joke, if I may use that word. Okay, so that's my take. Now we've spoken so much about automation and things like that. Now I want to get your perspective on something which is pretty close to my heart. Okay. How do you see the future for testers who believe that they have been doing manual testing for a long time, okay, and that there is a huge mountain to climb as far as they are concerned, and they are not finding any rope to get across the other side of the mountain? What is your thought on that?
See, maybe whatever the thought process that I have, maybe you might not agree with that, but if you have been doing manual testing and you were not having any automation skills or any automation tools knowledge, see guys, you have to improve your skill set, okay, with the modern industry pattern that you have in IT industry. Every day there is a new thing happening. You have to justify your software engineering concept. Somewhere I believe that, okay, if you are doing, let's say 10 years or 15 years back only manual testing, and then you have to get into, you have to survive over there. In that case, I think somewhere you should have some basic knowledge about other areas of testing. Just like we have automation, maybe we have security testing, maybe we have performance testing or performance engineering, something like this, or maybe into a database or something like this. You have to do that. You have to justify your technical skills. It's not about that, okay, automation is really cool stuff, and yeah, your roots are important, and you have a very extra added advantage that you are having a really good testing background, and it's just a matter of couple of months to learn a new tool and technology, and then bounce back with the new things. Another thing is that you can handle your team properly. Tomorrow, most of the people, they say that, okay, yes, that my team is making me fool because and then they are just bitching about me behind the scene, and then now this guy is a typical Excel QA manager who only works with Excel in the quality center. But yeah, so new generation is coming, and you have to work for next 10 years and 15 years also, or 20 years also. Make sure that, okay, at least you are ramping up with your skill set. learn about Learn about those tools, technologies, talk to them in that particular language, and they will start loving you, and they will start giving you a respect that, okay, yeah, my manager is he doesn't like the code, but obviously after 15 years or 20 years, nobody is expecting you to write the code for automation, but at least he can suggest me, he can give me the suggestions, and he can contribute for the architecture of the framework, or the kind of language and kind of programming and kind of stuff I'm writing for automation. He understands that, right? So that is another advantage that I personally see. You won't believe that. I don't want to take anyone's name. When I was in Cisco, I had a couple of senior folks in Cisco, right? It's a typical government company where, 15, 20 years, say, people are just doing the same stuff. And they were really worried about it, okay, with the new generation. And Cisco always hires people from IIT or NITs, and then all these people are coming, and then you have to manage those, really good people, and who are actually good in, everything. And they know everything. They know AI, they know ML, they know Python, they know everything. And then you have to manage these people. So you have to earn your respect over there as well, in terms of, you have to talk in the same language that they are talking. That is, I think, important factor to survive in the market, and to get the respect in the market. No doubt about it.
Well, you began your answer by saying you might not agree with what I might not agree with what you're saying, but I have to tell you that I agree with 100% of whatever you said. Okay, for me, there are no two ways about it. If you want to grow as a tester, you have to upskill. Okay?
Yep.
And if you upskill, you have to know about, like you said, know about the other areas of testing. Okay. Yes, there may be challenges in terms of writing code. Okay, first, number one is there is this inherent fear of failure. Okay,
Yep.
that stops a lot of people from getting into the code thing. What if I get the syntax wrong, or what if it's okay? Okay, there are some people who don't like doing it. That's also fine. But by saying that, okay, I've been doing manual testing for a long time and I don't see a future, it's not right, first of all. And that's where I bring in this perspective of nothing called manual testing. I know probably there are some memes out there about me talking about nothing called manual testing, and I'm absolutely okay to be a part of those memes, because as long as they convey the message. My point is, it is testing, right? You have to look at it is not manual automation. Ultimately, you're talking about testing, and you
Yep.
have to look at it holistically. There are a lot of things. Now, when it comes to automation, okay, do you believe that automation is only restricted to regression testing or API testing? There is no other way where we can apply, or use code to make our automation, or make our life easy as a tester.
Oh, why not? It's not about only for regression or only for doing some, just for the showcase to the management. It's not at all like that. I believe that a good automation engineer who writes the utilities, who is making your life easily, and who is doing a smart work, like 8 hours work. Let's say I give you an example that we used to test one application for 100 countries. And it was such a boring, tedious job, the same monotonous job that we have to do, that same flow for 100 countries. So that's the right candidate for automation. You can use your smartness over there for automation, and you can save a lot of time. Let's see, you are triggering a mail, and you are doing some mail content testing. Why are you wasting your time manually? You can automate a simple thing And then you can simply do that. You can quickly just integrate with the Jenkins pipeline and trigger it daily basis at 9 o'clock in the morning. Something like this, you can do that. So a lot of stuff are there. It's not about that, okay, automation is only for regression. You can write some really good utilities for not only for UI, but you can write for some really good API automation. You want to trigger some Slack notifications. You want to, a lot of things are there that you can do that. Okay, whenever there is a Jenkins pipeline is successful, you want to trigger some events in the backend, and then you want to trigger everything through the Slack channel so that everybody is notified. You can create small utilities, create small jars, and give it to the team. People will be happy. Use it. Why not? And you won't believe that I have seen some people, they are reporting to me earlier, and they were so smart, and they never showed off those things. And they, whenever they were doing manual testing also, or executing 1,000 test cases, and they were very smart. Most of the 1,000 test cases out of that, they automated in such a fashion that, okay, they created small utilities. And one guy was just running on his local machine, and then getting the things easily, and then fetching all the information and checking through the assertions and all those things immediately. And the moment I asked, okay, hey, what is the status? And he told me, yeah, my status is absolutely fine. I tested everything. And initially I thought, okay, no, he's bluffing, or maybe, he's bluffing, or maybe he's not executing all the test cases. But the moment he's followed the same pattern a couple of times, and I was like, how exactly you are doing it? And he told me that, okay, Naveen, I have created small utilities, small libraries, which is launching my app internally and doing some hacks over there, and then I'm just executing and validating everything. I was like, wow, and why didn't you share? He's saying it's for my personal purpose only. I don't want to share. Okay, I mean, he could have shared it, but it was in a very raw form. But I really appreciated that guy. That, okay, he used these small things to save his work, his man hours, and then after that he was just enjoying and having the tea and coffee with other colleagues, and then finishing his task, everything before the time actually.
Yeah, right. Well, I think you gave a very good example. I also know of a guy who did something similar. He would very quickly write up. So we had a situation where we were testing a system where we had like 20 servers or those things which had to be rebooted time and again, and it was not a full power cycle boot. It was just a simple reboot. So those reboot instructions, every time you have to go to the lab, do a reboot of all those 10 PCs. That can be done by a simple shell script.
Yeah.
Right. And the shell script is an example of automation.
Correct.
Right. You automate that thing, and it tells you when the system is up, it sends an alert saying the system is up and you can continue your test. So that is pretty smart, and that is a good use of automation. So thank you for sharing that example. The other example that I can think of is test data generation. You spoke about testing for 100 countries. How much test data will be required for testing for 100 countries? You could use automation to generate those data, right? For example, after you have tested for 100 countries, if you want to visualize your results, you want to create a report which shows you visualization, you can automate that. That is also automation. And here you are not particularly talking about regression or say API testing. You're talking about a whole gamut of things outside of just regression or API, where most of people are stuck. When you ask them automation, they say, okay, we can do this. No, but you can do that, of course, but you could do a lot more with automation. So that's where I think there's a lot of value. Now, having said all this, we have been seeing you doing a lot of things and explaining a lot of concepts to people, especially with Selenium and Java, and you've also started doing those whiteboard training sessions on your YouTube channel. I am curious, how did you get started or get the idea of doing this YouTube, and how's been your journey so far on YouTube?
So yeah, I think I started my YouTube channel in 2017, August or September. Yeah. So before that, so I'll tell you one thing about me, that I love teaching. So when I was in 10th standard, right, I used to teach math and physics to 12th standard, folks, students. So that was thing. And then because I was really good in my mathematics, and the physics was my favorite subject. So I used to do that, and when I was in college also, and before the exam, and I used to do all these, one day before, overnight, I used to teach other students and other, my other folks. So, and that time I really was like, having this cool stuff in me that okay, hey, when Naveen is there, that okay, yeah, he will teach me. So I was having this cool factor in my group, in my gang, that okay, yeah, so this guy is there, so definitely he will teach us. So that from there it started, and then when I joined my into IT companies also, and that time also I used to take some training in company also, like in QTP and all those things. So one guy when I was in Noida, one guy actually he was a QTP expert, and then he called me once. Naveen, why don't you come here on weekends and then teach my students? So I was like, okay, fine, it's a good thing. And I was, I was like, okay, fine. And I was just only 24 or 23, and you are getting extra works, and then why not? So I used to go there, and then I started teaching. And then suddenly, what happened that all those students they started liking me,
Yeah.
and they were claiming that okay, no, we want to learn only from Naveen, because the kind of explanation and all those things, the kind of examples he's giving, it's a very layman and anyone can learn. And I used to teach them in Hindi, English combination both, and because it's Delhi and all the people from North India, and then it was like fine. So we have that gel up kind of concept over there, and it was like good. And then suddenly what happened that okay, one day I started watching Udemy, and I found that okay, I'm not going to criticize anyone, but on Udemy you see that okay, most of the content is really pathetic sometimes, and then people are just trying to making the money over there, and then selling the things okay in a wrong way. It's fine, nothing is free in this world. But then I thought, okay, why don't I start something like this? So I never thought of YouTube. I thought I'll prepare one website just like Udemy kind of thing. I recorded my videos through GoToMeeting, and around 20-30 videos are recorded. And then I got to know that okay, no, you have to take a space from godaddy.com or something like it. Was a tedious job, and I okay, leave it. Then what should I do with these videos that I've already prepared? Then I uploaded on YouTube in August 2017, and then I forgot after that, and not even monetize, nothing. Didn't do anything. I just simply uploaded, not a single editing, and then around 20 videos are uploaded. And after 1 month and 2 months, I started getting comments over there and likes over there. And I used to get a notification, hey, nice thing, nice, concept. You really explained really well. We want to see more and more. And I was like, fine, 2-3 comments I'm getting, it's okay. One day I saw that I got a mail from YouTube that you crossed 1,000 subscribers. Sorry, 100 subscribers. Sorry, not 1,000. That was too much. 100 subscribers. I was like, hey, I got 100 subscribers, too much. And then I thought, okay, let's open YouTube Studio and then check what is happening there. What is the kind of crowd from where it is coming? And it was like people were loving the videos from all over the world, and people were liking it, people were commenting it over there. And then I saw some trend over there. I was like, okay, let's start then. Okay, so from then I used to watch Mukesh Otwani YouTube channel, and he was the only guy that time in YouTube, and Raghav was also there. But I really
Yeah.
liked Mukesh, teaching style. I was like, okay, fine, we can similar kind of thing. Also, I also can do it. Let's try. Then I started from there, and then 500 crossed and 1,000 crossed. So like that, I started my YouTube thing.
And now I think you're standing at, if I'm not wrong, you're 120K plus subscribers.
120,
What?
125 something, yeah.
Five. Yeah. See. Okay. So I was close. Well, so which is a testimony of the fact that the content available on your channel is extremely good. And I'm glad that you mentioned the names of Mukesh and Raghav, and the three of you. I mean, again, like I said, I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge fan of Mukesh and Raghav too. Uh, I started watching videos on YouTube. I started with your channel first, and then after some time, I also discovered Mukesh's channel, and wow, this is also pretty cool. And I was kind of, I have been doing this for several years with a lot of people, not just the two of you, but I it is Eklavya kind of learning. Okay, so Eklavya, the famous character from Mahabharata, where he never told anybody that he's learning. I started doing that. And only recently, I think it was middle of 2019, when I realized that, okay, if I have to search for anything, or if I have to know about any new content, I need to subscribe to a YouTube channel. Okay, so call me YouTube illiterate. Yes, I was that. Okay, I would go search, and then I would type, okay, Naveen Automation Labs, go to your channel, then scroll through the videos. Then the subscribe funda, I did not know about it. And then I quickly subscribed your channel, Mukesh's channel, Raghav's channel. I said, okay, this is cool. Now this is, you're getting the content, and now I know every time you upload something new. So for those of you listening to this whole conversation, if you have not subscribed to Naveen's channel, please do so now. I'm going to put a link of your channel on the description of this conversation, so that people can see for themselves what they have or you've got to offer, what they can learn. And if somebody thinks, if I have to make this disclaimer also, that if somebody thinks that I'm trying to sort of promote your channel, well, let me tell you let me tell you people that no, this is not a promotion, because Naveen's channel is a great source of learning. What you are doing, Naveen, for the communities is absolutely incredible. Okay, I treat it like a library which has a lot of books which you can refer to whenever you need to. So it is very similar. So when you have a question on Selenium or Java or any testing concept, you can go to the channel, look at the video, learn directly from you, interact with you via comments. So it is for me a platform, a library. And if I'm promoting a library. I'm not promoting a YouTube channel. So if somebody says, oh, test chat says that there is no promotions allowed, what is this going on? So this is that disclaimer that people should understand that I'm talking about a great resource for learning. So if you've not done that, do that. I'm going to, and I'm not asking your permission, Naveen, but I'll still, put the link to your video in the description of this particular video.
Thanks so much. I mean, in fact, I really appreciate the kind of network that you have, and if those people are watching my videos, that's a pleasure for me to, the people are subscribing to my channel, and then yeah, definitely. One thing I want to one more thing, Brijesh, that see, you asked that, okay, why YouTube, and then how did you start it? How did you start this? So see, from last couple of years, it's been 3 years now, but especially from last 2 years, whenever I get a message, maybe via LinkedIn or mail or WhatsApp or comments over there on your channel, somebody saying, okay, hey Naveen, just because of you or just because of your videos and content, I got the job. I was like so blessed, so happy that, okay, yeah, at least just because of me, at least one person got the job. And he was struggling a lot from last 6 months, 3 months. And that was the best feeling that, anyone could have, that, okay, yeah, someone got the job because of me. And it's a virtual learning. And okay, this guy is not coming to me directly, and I'm not coming to, okay, him. And then that person is learning and then getting the job because of me. He's cracking the interviews, getting the offers. And then, yeah, another thing I got to know, the main thing, especially from last 2 years, what happened that I see then, especially, candidates in India. In fact, you must be knowing about it, that in India, students and candidates are really, are really impressive in terms of their knowledge, but they're lacking somewhere, how to express their knowledge at a time of interview. That's a big, lacking thing. And most of the people, most of the candidates coming from, from different states, or maybe some small cities, or maybe some villages, having great talent, I have seen. Maybe they are lacking in terms of their communication, or they don't know how to express. But the moment they test the application or they write the code, I'm amazingly good, fantastically good. So that was the main fundamental about, of this channel also, because whenever you have seen this, that, okay, whenever I'm coming live, and I always want to teach people that, okay, hey guys, this is what you have to express. You have to, express your knowledge at a time of interview. And whenever you're working in your current team also, you have to justify, you have to showcase your knowledge. You have to improve your your communication. You have to improve your technical communication, which is very important. So that was also main motivation factor for me. When people started liking it, I was like double motivated. I was like, okay, no, I have to do it, like that.
Well, I can vouch for whatever you've said in terms of being able to teach and communicate. I think you do a great job in terms of conveying your thoughts, your ideas, and I can see that passion for testing, for testing and for teaching in your videos. So I definitely vouch for that. And like I said, I mean, I don't have to go too far. For an example, I am an example of somebody who's benefited from your videos. Okay, I was at least a couple of times in a situation where I was clueless about you know uh, something something to do with shadow DOMs. Okay, and how that does that work, and what you need to do and things like that. So I just go to your video, see what the perspective is. And now, just to add to that, and I need to mention the name of this guy, Sanjay Kumar, with his innovation selectors hub. What
Yep,
an incredible thing that he has done for the
correct.
community. What a brilliant tool that is. I mean, it's worth a shout out, it's worth a mention. I mean, and the session that he did with you, the YouTube live session, that was very helpful. Again, I could not watch it live because I was in a class, so I watched it later, and it was incredible. So these things that you are also doing, promoting great talent, promoting knowledge through your channel, I think that is also incredible. And there's a lot of learning for everybody in the community as to how to go out, express yourself, like you said, and be able to help others in achieving their dreams. So, on behalf of the community, I will thank you for that. But the interview is not done because I have a few more questions to ask you.
Sure.
Uh, so, I want to know from you, what is it that actually drives you in doing these videos one after the other? What is the frequency, and I mean, what is that one thing that is constantly keeping you motivated?
Uh, when I started a particular series, right? So first of all, that the first factor that even I'm learning, I'm also learning from that particular series because I have to research about it. I have to also study about it, and then I have to give the best, okay, in terms of the video. Second thing is that nowadays, it's a lot of responsibility on my shoulder because now if you really want to become the number one channel in QA automation on YouTube, that is my target, that I want to become the number one, not in terms of subscribers, but if someone is checking about automation on YouTube, that is my personal belief that okay, my name should be there, and that always motivates me. Third thing is that obviously the most important thing is that all the subscribers, they are expecting a lot. Someone
Yes.
started that okay, hey Naveen, I want to learn Python, I want to learn this Java thing, or I want to learn API or Selenium or whatever I want to, and we are expecting a lot from you. So that is like and motivates me a lot. The most important thing, the audience, the followers. I mean, I don't like to call followers, they are subscribers. They all are my, we all are in the same community. I'm also learning from them, they are learning from me. But just because of these people, okay, I'm really motivated that I really want to do something extra. And you won't believe that there is a lot of compromisations I'm doing it actually personally in my personal life. A lot of compromises in terms of my health issues. Sometime you see that okay, at late in in the night, 3 o'clock or maybe 2 o'clock in the in the night, I'm just preparing the videos. If you see my page object model, 2 o'clock in the night, 3 o'clock in the night, sometime what happens is okay, hey, suddenly something was going in my mind, and 4 o'clock in the morning, I just quickly woke up and then okay, fine, let's prepare a video. And the kind of response I was waiting, that is that gives me that the energy and the motivation that okay, no, I have to do that. Few months back, I was so much totally into it that because I used to have a good mindset in terms of my fitness also. And then I used to skip my gym sessions and all those things, and I was like totally all the time on computer. My personal life, my family also, they used to, yeah, but they were like quite supportive, and my friends also quite supportive. But yeah, so that's the overall thing. But yeah, it was a nice journey so far.
Well, awesome. And another thing that I want to add from to what you said is the learning aspect that you mentioned. Now, interestingly, if I go through the comments on your videos, a lot of times there are a few comments which also educate us.
Yeah.
I have learned quite a few things, but different ways of thinking because people are discussing the content of your video on the comments, and that gives ideas. As a person who's watching the video, if I scroll through the comment, it gives me ideas. So I'm pretty sure that you would have also looked at some of them,
Yeah.
and that also been because now that I am on behalf of the test chat, I am also on YouTube. Still a baby compared to what you are, but I can see the benefit directly coming. Okay, and the learning aspect, of course, yes, there is a lot of sacrifice you need to make. For families sometimes. What is he doing all the time on a computer? What's up to him? So I completely agree with you, but I like the way you put it. The energy comes from the people. The motivation comes from them, which is absolutely right. And I'm glad that you're doing this for the community. Okay. And then finally, I want to know from you, what does Naveen do when he's not testing or not doing a YouTube video? What do you like to do?
Yeah, okay. So I have a couple of things that first of all, that I used to hang out with my friends, and obviously in this pandemic situation, obviously we cannot go out, but I love singing. Like sometime I do that, although I'm not a that great voice now, but I used to do that. And I was a big fitness freak. I was like so crazy about the fitness, and then I think maybe because of I'm regular with my fitness things and all those things. That's why like I'm able to contribute for my channel and for other things, and working continuously day and night for. Okay, so that is the thing. Other than that, yeah, like I used to play cricket a lot. I was like super crazy. I joined a couple of clubs also in Bangalore, and when I was in Jaipur, and that's my city actually. That time also I was part of couple of clubs over there. So that time my passion was to become a cricketer. So I used to join some tournaments and all, and then corporate tournaments also I used to do that. So that was my passion. So sports and it's another thing that I love. So in my free time, whenever I do that, I use that. But nowadays, it's obviously you cannot play sports, you cannot go out. But yeah, watching Netflix and then having my own time, you know, big time music lover. So that I do that.
Well, since you've disclosed it now, so don't be surprised if you get requests for a song from your subscribers. Well, maybe we'll do a video on that. Okay, sometime in future. I think that's going to be fun, and it is incredible to see how you try to keep yourself fit while you're trying to focus on something. You mentioned that there have been health issues and things like that, but I wish you the best of your health. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you for talking to me today. It was an absolute pleasure discussing things related to testing, related to misconceptions, related to automation, related to other stuff, and of course about your YouTube journey. It was an absolute pleasure to host you, Naveen.
Same here, Brijesh. Like it was such a nice thing. Then I've been following you from last couple of years on LinkedIn. although we never talk to each other. And I think just because of your Telegram channel, and then we started talking, and then I was part of this group, and then the kind of discussions are happening over there, and then kind of people are free to talk anything and free to express their views and everything. I'm really loving it. So no doubt there are some really great people over there and some really good discussions. Although maybe sometimes maybe we all are not on the same page. Either it's a testing tool or not, but yeah, it's a part of discussion always. That's a very healthy discussion. People are taking it very lightly, and then I see you as a who actually contributing for the community and fighting for those things like no manual testing and correcting people. And I remember that, okay, somebody asked you on Telegram channel that, okay, if you are doing this, Brijesh, that you are making a lot of enemies. You remember that?
Yes.
I was like, I mean, you are making a bad reputation in the market, okay, if you're criticizing someone. And I think that's okay to criticize someone, right? It doesn't matter that, okay, how exactly people are taking it. So that thing I actually learned from you, because I've seen your LinkedIn post as well, and then the kind of rational, discussion that we do. And I think we have that frequency match. That's why like we are talking today.
Yeah, about the channel and about the discussions. Yes, see, you mentioned, okay, there will be situations when there will be disagreements. Okay, there are, and I say this a lot of times, and now that you brought it up, I'll say it on the video so that it is recorded and everyone knows it. Okay, here's what I believe. There are 7.5 billion people on this planet. Each of us is blessed with an intellect, with the capacity to think, and with the capacity to form opinions. So 7.5 billion opinions around you. There are bound to be opinions which will contradict your opinion. So you have to learn to live with it. You will have to learn to accept the disagreement. And I look at disagreements as a great opportunity to learn, as a great source of discussions, debates. I don't feel the need to convince everybody. Okay, sometimes we may agree to disagree. Okay, but we need to coexist. There will always be different perspectives. Okay, I don't see anybody holding a monopoly on truth. So that's why people are free to express, and that is the whole goal of the channel, where people can talk, people can laugh about it. I may disagree with you, but I will not mind having a beer with you right after that disagreement. Okay, so that's the beauty of the channel that we have in the form of test chat. Okay, so yeah, cool. I'm glad that you were able to resonate with that, and I cannot thank you enough for your contribution in the group. I think we have spoken a lot. Sideways also, we have a sideways chat going on apart from whenever the conversation is happening. So that's fun. That's one part that you make great friends. So thank you so much for your time, Naveen. I really appreciate that. And I wish you all the luck with your career, with your health, and with your YouTube channel, and all the things that you do.
Thank you so much, Brijesh, and wish you the same for TTC and to all the group members. And I wish you all the best for your health, your family in this pandemic situation. Be safe, take care. And whenever you're coming to Bangalore, or if I'm coming to Netherlands, definitely we are going to have a beer together.
Oh yes, of course, and a lot more. I want to listen to your songs. Too. I want to listen to your songs. Okay. So.
Sure, definitely. I'll...
All right. Thank you, Naveen. See you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.
Bye bye.